when I saw that video, I was like, yeah, but these guys also need to know that they're going to come in with their non-typical jiu-jitsu body, and typical jiu-jitsu is going to be much harder in certain spots.
Yeah.
And that's going to be easier for you, and you just have to embrace that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're sitting out there and you found this channel and you're not a previous football player, and you are a guy who just really wanted to get into it but never got into sports, and you're dealing with your 300-pound life, and you want to take a change, but you also think that you're just going to get destroyed. Yeah, you're going to get destroyed. So is the 120-pound guy who was a gymnast his whole life. Mm-hmm. So is the 200-pound guy that is a gym bro that's got the, he looks great, goes around with his shirt off even when he's not at the beach. Mm-hmm. That guy comes in here, he gets destroyed. So that part, get that out of your head. Yeah, you're going to get destroyed. But the idea that your body is going to work against you constantly, that's not true. Mm-hmm. You will find things that actually do work for you, and you can lean into those things. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he doesn't, you don't overuse your strength. You don't overuse your weight.
Yeah. Only recently I've been putting more of it on because Joel yells at me when I don't.
Yeah. He's like, what are you doing? You feel like a 100-pound guy. No, put it on me. But anyway, yeah, that's just basically what I wanted to say, which is that, yeah, you are going to suck at some things. But, dude, everybody's got something they suck at. And you may feel like you have more things that you suck at. And that may be true. But that doesn't mean that you don't have things that are going to work for you because of your size. Mm-hmm. And if you can start to build your game around that, then as you get more into this, you will find times where you can get back to more technical, more basic, more straight jiu-jitsu. TLDR, get your butt in the gym, look for things that your body helps you do, and don't be ashamed of those things. Lean into them. And that's all I got.
Like it. Thanks.
All right, so the first thing that you have as a big guy, and they don't even have to be big like you big, like I used to be a lineman big. They could just be big like I sat around and ate Cheetos too much big, right? Or they just have a hard time moving at all. But they still are going to have wide waists. You had a guy in here the other day, he was taller than you, and he was all legs, and he still couldn't close his guard on, right? So most big guys who are big around here and here, they're automatically, so if I put you in guard, this is not the same game that I'm usually looking for, right? This is not a closed guard, so I can't do that. So, and you can easily push down this leg, right? Or, do your smash pass on me.
Yeah.
Right?
Hips open up.
Yeah, and that's what I'm going to show. I'm going to show how easy it is for you to do that smash pass. It's just lay on top of me and walk around, right? So this is a huge advantage.
Yeah.
And most guys who are wide, they're going to, I'm not going to be able to get anything, right? They're just, I'm not engaging my hips the same. Even if I did that, it's just not the same. So you have that going for you.
Yeah, even if you do the squeeze, you're starting from a wider squeeze.
Yeah. Let's get into it. Get on your back. I've got you in side control, right? I can't do any of the stuff that I really want to do for side control. I got to reach over. The second I reach over, you're just going to roll my ass. If like what Joel was saying, if I do this, and you just hook that arm like we just worked, and you can just come straight on over, right? And it's because I'm so far off of here. Yeah. My center of gravity is so far up and over, that's going to help. So some guys are going to have that option. If you're real big, this sucks for you because I'm putting weight on your diaphragm, so you're having a harder time breathing. So that sucks for you. But it sucks for me because my knees aren't even close to the ground, right? So if you do a shrimp or something, I'm going to go. I'm flying. Yeah. Even if I'm here, I don't want to be here even. I have to really get here to do anything to you, right? But if I try to scoot up, I'm still like in a bad position. You can easily start to throw me over, right? You can get underhooks on my legs easier. You can do all those things. So there are positions that would be dominant that you don't have to worry about. You'd like to be. Go ahead and pull guard on me.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get me inside control. And it's because your body's built differently. And my point's going to be, everybody's going to have those things.
Yeah.
Like, their body is going to tend to get to a certain point, right?
And one of the most helpful things you said before, because I think I had thrown Nick on the underhook escape, and I'm like, I feel like I'm muscling it, and you're like, you're moving, and you're a big man, so all of your moves are big man moves.
Yeah.
And like, there's no getting around that. I can't small man it, you know.
Yeah.
If I move, it's a big man move, and it's not shade. It's me moving.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was really, I mean, because there's one thing to muscle through something and push and tighten and all that stuff, but just for me to move my arm this way is a certain radius.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's different.
Look, like I could count up on one hand the number of times that you really just big man somebody, and it's like when they go for an arm bar and you sling them off, you know, like that's different. And if their technique had been better, they wouldn't have been able to get away with that. But their technique was a little bit not as strong, and so you just threw them off, which is not an option that I would have. But you know,
I can usually tell because I start to cramp.
Well, another one, and that gets into another one here, like stand up. Any of this, right? Mm-hmm. Like any takedown I do is going to be so much harder on you.
Yeah.
Like especially any of the traditional takedowns I do, they're going to be harder on you.
Yeah.
So there's that part right off. You know, if you're a taller, bigger, stronger guy, when we get here, if you learn some things, it's going to be so much harder for me to take you down, right? So those are my big ones for you. It's like, and the idea is, you're, built for tough, but everybody's going to have something like that. They just have to find it and understand that you'll have something that your body will allow you to do, right? I mean, even when I was, I'm only like 5'9". Even when I was 5'9", 260, and I just was carrying around just a gut, like there were still things I was able to that helped me. Close guard for guys who were around my size, they can close their guard around me. Things like that. When I smashed weight on them, when I got Superman, because I had a lot of weight right here, like that was just pinning them down. So everybody's got something.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of it was helpful too. Is people will think it's just weight, but it's size, space.
Yeah.
Changes it.
I mean,
because on my strip escape from mount, when I go up to my hip, like you're on a low squat at that point. It's just my hip is so high. So it's those. Those are it's the spatial ones. I mean, my weight helps in pressure on different things, but it's the spatial ones that have been the weirdest.
And most of the time, we've been able to counter your weight. Like I just proved you can get up on your knees.
Yeah.
And I can stand up with you on top of me, and like that's as much weight. One of our first videos is Joel underneath you. Getting completely smashed and being fine. And now you don't even like to get in that position on him because he just curls up in the side and starts working something from there.
Yeah.
So sometimes the things that we think are unfair advantages are only because the other person's not there. And they shouldn't look at them as unfair advantages. They should look at them as different problems to solve. Because take all that weight away and turn it into pure athleticism, speed, and they're not going to have the same problem, but they're going to have a different one.
Yeah.
And they're just not going to see it. It's not going to be like I can look at you and be like, this dude's heavy. I can't look at a guy and be like, this dude's fast,
Yeah.
right? And so when I get my butt kicked because somebody was fast, I'm never like, you just did that because you're faster than me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one ever claims that when they lose a roll.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, everybody's got different points, you know? You're taller. Like I was talking to the other guy. You're taller. Your ability to get a headlock on me is way easier than mine is for you. Like if I come straight in like this, you're going to be able to just scoop my head real simply. If I get a collar tie on you, you can turn that into a headlock pretty simply. Right? Like height's going to have a thing. Even height and being not lanky. Height itself is going to give you something. So, yeah, I really think that you're... when I saw that video, I was like, yeah, but these guys also need to know that they're going to come in with their non-typical jiu-jitsu body, and typical jiu-jitsu is going to be much harder in certain spots. Yeah. And that's going to be easier for you, and you just have to embrace that, you know?
Yeah, because some of that, too, is like we didn't even explore gi stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys are having to do gi.
If they're, and you know, if you're a big guy, if you're anybody, and you're in gi class, yes, do all of the techniques that they're teaching you, but when you're rolling, you need to put grip fighting like front and center. That needs to be front of mind, and then you can start to use a lot more of the no gi. Hip movements and things like that. But if you give up a collar and you try to do it like a hip switch, which you know we do all the time, then you're gonna find out real quick, oh, it's a lot different when a guy can just you know, strangle you like that.
Yeah, thanks for choking yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So even those guys, I would say anybody that goes into a gi class, like concentrate on grips. Don't just give them up because you're trying to fight something else. You know. It's kind of weird because I think that most martial arts spend way too much time with the hands, worrying about what the hands are doing, and I still believe that. But in gi, I would almost say it's the opposite, because if I can get a good cross collar grip on you, if I can get a good grip on your hips with your on your gi pants, or your grip on your you know the legs of your gi, or the wrists of your gi. I have so many more options, but on top of all of those options I've taken all your momentum away, all your movement away, right? So, yeah, I mean, that kind of goes for everybody. Like, if you have to go to the gi class and you're a big guy and you can't move fast, concentrate on grips. But
yeah, that would help just being sticky anyways.
yeah. But yeah, no, just understand, like, if you're a big guy, you got like the pear bottom, and you hated it your entire life. And you don't have that. You're built like a refrigerator. But a lot of bigger guys, they're really wide here.
Yeah.
You know, and also to go into that body types. You know, I forget the names of them right now, but you know, you got the guys that can overlap their wrists with their fingers, the guys whose fingers touch, and then you got the guys who they can't even touch their fingers around their wrist. That's not, oh, you eat too much. That's, your body frame is built differently.
Yeah.
You know, and those guys are gonna have wider hips. You know, and so, well, hell, if I take your back and I roll you into back, this is a good one. We'll put this one in. You can do whatever. But just get on a turtle form. So this one's crazy because, as we've talked about before, just getting you over is hard.
Yeah.
Like, there's a trick that we've come up with to get somebody over like this. I'm not even going to put it in here because, okay, I'll put it in here. If I can get his ankle, his back ankle, actually scoot back a little bit so we can get on the camera a little bit more. So if I can get his back ankle and turn it out like that, this will roll him over. All right? I can either throw a half in and roll him this way, or if I'm here, if I go there, I can pull him over this way. Right? But now scoot back, because there's a wall there. Scoot to your right. But if I do get what I want, and I pull him over into guard, look at that. Look how much wider he is. Look how, these are my hooks. These hooks aren't going to do what hooks on a regular guy is going to do. Right? He can easily just slide that hook right off. Right? He can easily turn into me. He's pinning that leg down already. So if somebody does pull back on him, and tries to go for hooks and seatbelt and accept that rear naked choke, if my legs can't hook in and I can engage these thighs and get in there, hook in with these legs and feet. If I don't have that option, if my legs are just hanging out, then no one takes his back like that anymore. They might try it once or twice, but no, that part doesn't work anymore. So that's not. I mean, we've worked some technique to make that more useful, but that was like day one. Oh gosh, I can't get his back that way. So yeah, if you're sitting out there and you found this channel and you're not a previous football player, and you are a guy who just really wanted to get into it but never got into sports, and you're dealing with your 300-pound life and you want to take a change, but you also think that you're just going to get destroyed. Yeah, you're going to get destroyed. So is the 120-pound guy who was a gymnast his whole life. Mm-hmm. So is the 200-pound guy that is a gym bro that's got the, he looks great, goes around with his shirt off even when he's not at the beach. Mm-hmm. That guy comes in here, he gets destroyed. So that part, get that out of your head. Yeah, you're going to get destroyed. But the idea that your body is going to work against you constantly, that's not true. Mm-hmm. You will find things that actually do work for you, and you can lean into those things. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he doesn't. You don't overuse your strength. You don't overuse your weight.
Yeah. Only recently I've been putting more of it on. Joel yells at me when I don't.
Yeah, he's like, "What are you doing? You feel like a 100-pound guy." No, put it on me. Same thing. Like he wants that. Look, here's another thing about jiu-jitsu. We all try to say that this is the martial art that works in the real world. That's why I'm here, right? If you just want to do stuff that for exercise and fun, there are other martial arts that you can take that are less effective in reality, but are really fun. Yeah. And no shade on those. If you know that's what you're getting into them for, then great. But jiu-jitsu is the one that works in real life, which means when I get somebody who's huge and I'm not huge, I don't need to be like, well, it would work if he wasn't 400 pounds. No, I need to be like, how does this work on him? How can I do something else? All right, so don't look at yourself as, well, I'm never going to be. No, you're going to be a challenge to somebody. So that's my rebuttal to the previous video. Is yeah, some things should be hard, but
no, there's a lot we can do.
Yeah,
and it's fun to find those things. It's fun to do it all, but when you find those things that are just, it fits you. It's natural to your physique, and you start to feel a lot more agile because of that. When it's not really even a new skill, it's just doing what your body can do, and finding those things is a lot of fun.
Yeah. And look, did I try as hard as I could to get his back and take his back for this? No, I didn't. But even if I had, those problems are still there. Like I have a way to take his back now that we've developed, in which I crawl up his back so that my knees are under his armpits. But that's what I'm talking about. That's the thing that you should be looking for if you're not the big guy.
Well, that's part of what we bring to it, is you get to discover those things.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's another thing. If you go into a class and you feel like, oh, no one wants to do anything with you because they can't do their stuff to you. That's not on you, man. That's on them.
Yeah.
Like, just keep going. If you have to change gyms, I know that's hard, but that's where we have the sign-up period. If you go into a sign-up period, you go to your first 3 classes, and you feel like, what's that meme you like, the gorilla in the corner?
Oh, the gorilla?
Yeah. If you feel like the gorilla in the corner that nobody wants to go with because their stuff doesn't work or, oh, you're too big, go find another gym.
Yeah.
You know, or if that's not an option, unfortunately, then just keep going. And eventually, people will realize what you're bringing to what you're bringing to them. Yeah, sometimes you have to educate other people.
Well, it helped me find one of my favorite things. I know a lot of people's favorite things in jiu-jitsu is submissions because that's when you win, and some people like to inflict pain and all that stuff. I don't love submissions, like I do them, and I have a few that are my favorite. But my favorite thing in jiu-jitsu is sweeps. I love doing sweeps. It's just the feeling of a reversal, being in a bad position to a good one immediately. Like that to me is the most fun. And I've gotten to work on those the most because I usually start on bottom because I don't want to be the gorilla and no one wants to roll. I'm like, I'll start on bottom, it's fine.
Yeah.
And then I'll just sweep. And oftentimes with other people in the evening class, once I hit the sweep, I'll usually reset. Like that's the tap. I don't follow through the submission. I get the position, but then I'll give it up or I'll go back to the bottom and just keep working sweeps. And to me, that's fun, and it's helped me learn a lot quicker a lot of those pieces because of my size and because of the nature. So.
And one of the tenets that I live by in jiu-jitsu is position, control, submission. Position first, then control, then submission. So by finding yourself in a bad position, turning it into a good position, and then establishing control from that position, like you can, when you get later on, you can be like, and here's a quick tap.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. I don't want to be the monster white belt cranking out a bad position.
yeah. So just you'll find like an actual, and that's really the problem is like when you get to positions when you get to the submission part. If you're a big guy or a strong guy, you feel like now I'm starting to be unfair.
Yeah.
Dude, I guarantee the other guy's not. He's not thinking that. Yeah. He's like, hey, I got here. Right? So, like, yeah, that's fine, especially for where you are and for where everybody's going to be at the white belt level. But, as you get farther on, look for the technique that is the submission that is technique-based and not like, well, I kind of got his head and there's rear naked choke. But he's got his chin down. But I can still get it because I can, bench press a car, so I can just squeeze his head till it pops like a pimple, and he'll tap from that. Like, don't do that. But if you actually do get the back, and you get, well, like you got the back now, and now he's got a rear naked choke that feels like I'm being hung because I'm not close to the ground. And you're like, whoa, show us that. We'll show you in another video. But the point is, like, when he was originally doing his rear naked chokes, he would just try to squeeze hard, like everybody does. But the difference is when somebody else squeezes hard, I don't feel like I need to tap. But when he squeezes hard, I'm like, yeah, my jaw's about to get dislocated. I'm going to tap now. So, yeah, you're going to run into that too, and that's fine. Like, definitely, I'm never going to get mad at somebody who is constantly going into good position and able to control their position. And then if they don't decide to go for submissions, they want to just keep the roll going, and that's fine too. But if we were trying to put you on the mat at a tournament or something like that, then we would start to really kind of crank down on that.
Sure.
But anyway, yeah, that's just basically what I wanted to say, which is that, like, yeah, you are going to suck at some things, but dude, everybody's got something they suck at, and you may feel like you have more things that you suck at, and that may be true, but that doesn't mean that you don't have things that are going to work for you because of your size. Mm-hmm. And if you can start to build your game around that, then as you get more into this, you will find times where you can get back to more technical and more basic, more straight jiu-jitsu, right? Fundamental, yeah. But definitely you don't need it right off. And even the fundamentals. I chose all the other words besides fundamental.
No.
Because you will still be doing true fundamental things. Mm. You just won't, for example, we use a lot of we do a lot with hips in our class, and your hips are still going to be going down. You're still going to be going hips down to your knees. That's the fundamental part. You just might not be doing it from XYZ. You're going to skip all that because you don't need to do XYZ because the guys, for example, like the guy's already all the way over on top of you, right? If you're in side control, here, real quick, you're going to have to edit the crap out of this one, or we'll just turn this one into a movie. So, let's see if we can get it. Warner Brothers or somebody can buy it. Yeah, so like if I'm here and he wants to do certain rolls, or if he wants to do like a hip escape or things like that, like I would have to, like if he wants to roll me over, we'll just do a simple one, right? If I was teaching them just the simple roll over, right, I would have to be able to get the guy's weight here. But look, I'm already there on him because of how big he is. So he doesn't have to worry about that part. So all he has to do, depending on which one he wants, we'll just say the white belt hug. So he's just gonna hug me like we're here, right? I'm already way over there, so he can just roll, right? He didn't have to set that up at all. It was right there. My side control was fine if I was on a regular person who was, 150 pounds or whatever. I don't have to do all those things to get underneath him for that. He doesn't have to do all those things to get underneath me for that. Because...
to bait my Americana.
Yeah. Because his center of gravity is so much higher off the ground, I have to bring my hips up higher to match that. Well, that makes me off balance, so he can do that roll. So, yeah. TLDR, get your butt in the gym. Look for things that your body helps you do, and don't be ashamed of those things. Lean into them. And that's all I got.
Like it. Thanks.